Every day is a new beginning. Shine your light. It's a day and the world is waiting. Move along to the song, singing in your soul. Feel the beat, clap your hands, let it take control. All you need, all you want, are you ready to find your way? 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome to Wisconsin Family. I'm Janet Crescent.
And I'm Justin Riley, and here we are again at the Steinway & Sons Piano Gallery on the west side of Madison. I'm always so excited to come here because, as some of you may know, I'm a music lover, instrumentals, love the whole thing, and I love coming here because Ben always teaches us something, teaches me something that I never knew before. So excited to learn from him later on in the program.
Yeah, Ben is the owner here at Steinway. Such an impressive individual. Not only does he own the store, not only does he perform, but he is a technician as well. So he is knowledgeable on everything piano.
And a good teacher.
And a good teacher too, I should mention that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a piano teacher as well.
Yeah, we've got a piano behind us that's sort of been taken apart. I don't know if you can see this here, but it's cool because this is an older piano, and he's going to kind of go through with us what some of the inner workings of the piano and what he's looking for when assessing a used piano, because some people might be thinking, well, I don't need to buy a new piano. I can buy a used one and save a few bucks.
Right.
But we're going to find out, is that really worth it? And what are some things to consider? So he'll give us an education on that.
We're also talking about your pets and pet sitting. I know when I go on vacation and I need to leave my pets at home, sometimes it's hard to find someone that really cares about your pets. So we're going to meet the folks from T&T Pet Care Services. This is a husband and wife team that have all kinds of ways to take care of your pet, whether it's just for the day or maybe a week or even longer.
And they do it out of their home, so they try to make your furry friends feel like they're really at home and on their routine. They're not kenneled up in a cold, sterile environment or something like that. So it's nice.
That's very nice, very important.
Yep, absolutely. We're also going to be hearing from Arcadia Books. This was a segment that we did a couple of months ago, I believe, but we're gonna show that again, and they've got some just great selection there. New books, used books, the whole 9 yards, even a cafe.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been out to Spring Green yet, you'll want to head out there to Arcadia Books. It's a great little place.
It is a great little place with really great people too. They know books.
That's coming up right after the break here on Wisconsin Family, so stick around.
'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're in the piano gallery at Steinway of Madison on Mineral Point Road. Later on, we'll talk with the owner about the experience of buying a piano and getting one into your home. Right now, we're talking books. Love this topic. And with us, we have Nancy Bainan. She's the children's book buyer at Arcadia Books, which is out in Spring Green. Now, Nancy recommended a book to me. Nancy, I'm halfway through that book.
Yes.
For the second time. I finished it and I turned right around and started over again. I enjoyed it so much and wanted to get more of the details. So my first question is that weird?
That's not weird. If you love something,
I think he thinks it is.
Well, I was just going to ask. You said you're halfway through the book the second time. Did you make it through the first time? You said you did.
Yeah,
but
I did.
That was the first thing that came to mind.
it's a fantastic book. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful book. I would like to read it again too. So no, I think not. If there's a book that you love, some people read the same book every year. It becomes like
that's true.
Yeah, it's kind of like a ritual. So
Okay, I'm
yeah.
feeling better. Thank you for affirming that. Okay, let's move on. How about recommending books for indoor activities? With us being in the midst of winter
Yes.
and a little bit cabin fever going on.
Yes, absolutely. So in the winter theme, I love this book, this little picture book. Picasso paints a snowman. So this little mouse is on a journey of artistic discovery here.
Uh-huh.
And so every page is a different artist rendition. And I think it's fabulous because it gives you more than one way to look at an object.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be three circles stacked on top of each other.
Sure.
And then maybe your toddler can be like, oh, I'm a cubist. Oh, I love Jackson
Well,
Pollock.
that's a snowman.
Yes.
We just
Yep,
missed. They're all snowmen.
They're all snowmen. Yep.
Picasso paints a snowman.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're
okay.
all different versions of a snowman. And then I thought, well, how fun it would be to be inspired. So then you look at these and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm going to paint one like this. Or when I see a snowman, I'm going to think of it in a totally different way.
Sure.
So
This looks entertaining for kids and adults,
I
actually.
think so. I mean, couldn't you have like a little family contest and everybody
Yeah.
paints a different version of a snowman?
That's cute.
Beautiful
Yeah.
book,
It's very
too.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what some things that people like to do in the wintertime is that, we love to cook. We love good food, obviously,
Yes.
even after the holidays. But, people tend to get sick of the same things over and over again.
Absolutely.
So is there anything, do you have any new cookbooks that you can share with us?
Yes, I brought 2 with.
Okay.
This is a fun one. This is great family recipes, but a little fancier. So you could have like a friends over and have kind of a dinner party with those. This one, this is a real deal family cookbook. It has recipes in here, things that you have in your pantry, in your fridge, and take you like half an hour to make.
Yeah.
And
wow.
they're just a little different, but they're kid friendly.
Sure.
And you're not going to buy 20 ingredients to make it.
Sure. And it
So-
looks like there's some healthy options there too.
Absolutely.
I think, so.
Yes. So soups, desserts, appetizers.
And pictures. I like it when there's pictures.
Yes.
This is what it's supposed to look like.
Yes. And look at that. It's delicious. So.
Well, with my cooking, sometimes having a picture of what it's supposed to look like may not be such a good idea. It might make me feel bad about myself, but that's okay. We like to see the pictures, so.
Well,
Absolutely.
I've been over at Arcadia Books, and the first thing I noticed when I walked in was how good it smelled. You've got a little cafe going on in there, and I'm wondering what's going on in the kitchen. You call it the kitchen?
We call it the kitchen at
Okay.
Arcadia Books. So this winter, on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, we're doing dinners, and they are fantastic. Last Tuesday, I had the dinner that was empanadas, cheese empanadas, and with black beans and roasted sweet potatoes. It's $8 for the vegetarian, $10 for the meat option.
Wow.
Fantastic. So that's every Tuesday and Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30.
Okay. This is at a bookstore. We're
Yes.
getting this kind of food. This is crazy to me. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, best of both worlds.
This isn't just any bookstore,
Right.
though.
Well, it's not. Yeah, obviously. Obviously.
No, it really, just the atmosphere is
Yeah.
very warm, very welcoming, and super lovely.
Yeah. I didn't mean to cut you off. Was there something else that you wanted to mention about the kitchen? Things going on food-wise? Sorry, I thought maybe I cut you off. But.
Just every day she brings out something.
Yeah.
Katie Wire is our chef. She brings out something ridiculous. Yesterday it was a lemon curd cake. So, yeah.
Sounds like she's enjoying her job there.
Right.
Yes, yeah,
Right.
she's fantastic, very creative and
You know, when
locally
I-
sourced. Yeah.
When we think about going to Spring Green, a lot of people think of going to the theater, and
Yes.
probably not so much this time of year. But it's a little bit cold outside. But are there any things that you can offer people who want to get their theater fix during the off season?
Absolutely. So some of our theater friends live in Spring Green, many
Right.
of them, and they also need their theater fix. They get antsy to get back on stage, and so we do these things called play readings. They are just behind a table or up on a podium, and they just read the play.
Wow.
They just have a script and they just read it, and it's nothing fancy, no costumes.
Right.
They really haven't practiced too much, and
Right.
it's just fun, and it's just a different way to hear a play you maybe have never heard of, and they are such incredible actors
Yeah.
that them like reading a phone book is
Yeah.
interesting and
Yeah.
wonderful. So reading
Yeah.
a play is
They bring their
fantastic.
acting chops to the table. In other
Yes.
words, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
So those are Monday nights, and I have my cheat sheet here so I can remember the dates. January 22nd, February 19th, March 5th, and March 12th. And you can see all that info on our website at readinutopia.com.
And I've been to one of those readings for A Christmas Carol,
Yes.
and it was fabulous. I highly recommend it. Well, Nancy, thank you so much for coming in
Thank
today.
you.
Thank you for your recommendations.
Yes.
Highly recommend the store. You can find them in Spring Green or find them online too. We'll be right back.
'Cause every day is a new day. 'Cause every day is a new day.
Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're filming today at Steinway of Madison inside their piano gallery. Later on, we get to talk to the owner, Ben Garber, about used pianos, how to buy one, what to look for, that kind of thing. He's super knowledgeable, so you'll want to stick around if that's in your wheelhouse. Right now, though, it is Wisconsin Family, and a big part of our families are our pets. So joining us right now are Tracy and Tom. Is it Haz?
Haz.
Haz of T&T Pet Care Services. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
So, T&T Pet Care Services is a business you have, and you're right here in Madison. Tell us about the services that you provide.
Well, at T&T Pet Care Services, we provide a variety of services. So we provide pet sitting in our clients' homes, pet boarding in our home, doggy daycare in our home. We have a wonderful fenced-in backyard that's awesome for playtime. And we do daily dog walks or pet care visits where we might stop in and take care of a cat or fish or small animals. We also take dogs to dog parks, and we do courier services. So if you need your dog dropped off at a vet or a groomer, we can do that for you.
I think you've thought about everything.
We try to.
Now, I have frogs. Would you come and take care of my frogs?
Absolutely.
We actually had a
Absolutely.
client that had
Absolutely.
a frog
Yes.
that we took care of, yes.
Great. I have 4, so that should keep you
Oh
busy.
boy, okay.
Okay, so wait a second. You guys actually take care of other people's pets in your home?
We can
Wow.
do. Yeah. So we do a
Wow.
lot of pet boarding in our home. We'll get a couple of,
Wow.
maybe 4 or 5 dogs at the same time. Or we've had kitties come over and
Okay.
stay.
Okay.
And a lot of
That's-
times the holidays is our busy time, so we're not
Sure.
able to enjoy it as much as we used to. But
But I think
That's
that's
a different kind of joy.
it's all right.
I think that's a big part of your service, though, is you want the animals to be in that home environment.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
versus
That's one-
like a sterile kennel or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that's good.
It's more personalized.
Yeah, absolutely. So talk to us a little bit about what geographical areas do you serve? Where are your customers coming from?
Yeah, so if we're going to provide the service in our customers' homes, usually it's in the Madison area or the surrounding communities. Our team is growing, so we are expanding out to other communities as well. But that's typically right where we're at, is in that whole Madison area and the surrounding communities.
All right, and if people are looking for your services, you have something that you require. It's a meet and greet prior to, I guess, agreeing to do the services. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we do require is that we have what we call a free, no obligation meet and greet. And that would either be at the client's homes if we're going to go there, or at our home if the pet's going to come to us. And that is really about filling out the paperwork that we have. We have a customer care sheet, because our goal is to, which I'll get to, is our goal is to provide a great service and as close to what our clients could do as possible. And then also to just find out about, is the pet aggressive? We want to take care of ourselves and our
Right.
team members, as well as making sure that the pet and the owner is comfortable with us and they've
Right.
gotten to know us.
And as a pet owner, I would be glad that you're doing that, because if you're caring for my pet and you're bringing in other pets, I'd want to make sure everybody's compatible and happy.
Everybody has to
Right.
get along,
Right.
Right, right. Yeah, and we're not going to bring pets to your house, but
Right.
if they're coming to ours. But yeah, so it's a kind of a trust business.
Sure.
So we want to develop that.
Absolutely. What would you guys say that your number one goal is when providing these services for people?
Yeah, well, definitely it's to make that pet feel that it's as close to their normal routine as possible.
Yeah.
So that's why we do that full customer care sheet.
Right, and it's like a comfort level with the owners and stuff like that. That they're comfortable with us and they trust us and
Sure.
stuff like that. So
Sure.
Yeah, so it's just finding out what the routine is. Do they
Yeah.
normally get up at 5 or do they normally get up at 7?
Right,
Those kinds
right,
of questions.
And that's a big deal for our pets. They're
Yeah.
very into routines.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yes.
And hopefully being on this program will kind of break down some of those barriers for you guys. If any of our viewers are watching, they can kind of see that you're very nice people.
Thank you.
thank
We
you.
hope so too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we know you're nice people and you're husband and wife team here, but do you hire help?
Yes, yeah. We are, as I mentioned, our team is growing. So what we really look for in our team members is, number one, you have to be an animal lover, and that's not everyone. So this isn't a business for everyone. So we want to make sure that we're seeing how they react around team members, or around the pets. But we also want to make sure that they're trustworthy. So background checks are important to us, making sure that they are going to have. Our clients are having us come into their homes, so they have to be able to be very trustworthy people. So
Right.
it's
Absolutely.
important.
And enjoy
things.
the weather, all the types of weather.
The variety of weather.
Taking dogs
Get
out
out
for
there
a
in the
walk,
snow
you
and
have to.
walk 'em.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, okay, here's the $1 million question, and I'm going to ask it to both of you. What brings you the most joy in this business?
Do you want to go first on that?
Well, I think it's just providing the service for a client that is, needs help, and also seeing that they are satisfied with our service. That, it kind of makes them happy, so it makes us happy.
Gives you some satisfaction.
Right.
Yeah. I have said this so many times. The animals that come into our lives are so incredibly precious and wonderful, but quite honestly, it's the people.
Yeah.
The people with the hearts that they have. We have so many clients that have rescued animals that would not have had the wonderful life that they have today
Yeah.
had it not been for their heart and soul. So
That's
that's
awesome.
inspired us.
Right.
So you get
and
to
has
learn the
made us
stories
all-
of a lot of the pets that you're taking
Lots
care of.
of
very
them,
true.
animals that have been in very bad situations prior to coming to a loving
Wow.
home. Loving
Oh, that's
home.
incredible.
So.
Those are the right answers, by the way.
Thank you.
We didn't even practice.
There you go.
Okay, so it's TNT Pet Care Services, and this was Tracy and Tom Haas. I got it right this time.
You got it right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for telling us about your business today.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us
We
on.
have more Wisconsin Family right after this commercial break.
'Cause every day is a new day. 'Cause every day is a new day.
And welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're here at the Steinway & Sons Piano Gallery here on the west side of Madison. And we're going to learn a thing or two about buying a piano, specifically used pianos. And we're joined now by owner Ben Garber. Thanks for having us today.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, you bet. So, you know, we've been coming here for a few months now, and on a number of occasions we've kind of drawn sort of a comparison of buying a piano to buying a car. So let's talk about buying used pianos. Is that similar to buying a used car, and can customers save a lot of money by buying something that's currently used?
Yeah, great question, and obviously I can set the landscape for you a little
Sure.
bit because it's so different from cars.
Right.
Everybody wants to find that 3 to 5 year old car that's going to save them the initial depreciation of buying something new.
Right.
Around the turn of the century, I think the statistic is that there were 2,000 piano manufacturers in the U.S.
Okay.
And so there were a lot of pianos being made, and some of them were very high quality, by the way. But the thing is, those pianos are all 100 or 120 years old, so they
Right.
all need major work.
Right.
On the other side of that, we have pianos from, let's say, the 80s or the late 70s, when we had an influx of imported instruments. They were really made to last 25 to 30 years. So we're in a funny situation right now where, first of all, pianos last a lot longer than cars.
Okay.
And second of all, we just don't have a good supply of used pianos. We have a supply of pianos that need a lot of work, or some that are just not worth touching.
Wow, interesting.
So sticking with Justin's analogy here, or metaphor of cars and pianos, I don't think we can tell a lot by looking at a car, just looking at it, whether we're a mechanic or not. I'm wondering,
Yeah.
can you just look at a piano and know about its quality or its needs?
Yeah.
Or,
Everybody thinks that they can tell a little bit by sort of looking at it, I guess kicking the tires, so to speak, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of pianos look the same, and on the outside they can be pretty nice. A lot of people will play, and even if they're a player, they're gonna put their hands on the instrument, and obviously some of the big red flags, like if it sounds vastly out of tune, they're gonna think maybe something's wrong. That might be a very small issue, though. Maybe it just needs tuning. The really crucial parts of a piano are things you can't see. And unfortunately, you won't know whether it's a paperweight or an instrument until you get those things checked.
Wow, interesting. So, what are some of the most important components that to have inspected when considering making a purchase like that?
Yeah, we inspect every internal component very carefully. The most important in terms of whether you can keep the piano and it's a good serviceable instrument are going to be the pin block, which you can't see because it's underneath this big cast iron plate. The soundboard, which is the speaker of the piano, some people
Right.
will call it the heart of the piano, and the action, which is the 11,000 moving parts that make up the keys and the hammers and everything.
Yeah.
11,000?
Yeah, on a grand piano.
That's a lot that can go wrong or right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mostly they age, and when they age,
Wow.
they go wrong more than right?
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth mentioning that Ben not only owns this store, and not only is he a performer, but he is a technician, so he knows about all the guts and things that make a piano.
This is what we do.
Yeah, that is what you
we
do.
look inside.
All right, so when we look at Craigslist and classifieds and things like that, a lot of times I've seen free piano, which
Right,
is
yeah.
come pick
Yeah.
it up
Yeah,
kind of a
come
thing.
move it.
Is there ever a case where it's just not even worth bringing
Yeah,
it? Oh,
there is, yeah.
He didn't even breathe. He
No,
didn't blink.
no, and I know it's hard to get this message across because everybody says, hey, that's beautiful and free, right?
Yeah.
We take very accurate, what we call pin torque readings, which will allow us to assess the integrity of the wood underneath this plate.
Okay.
And with that information, we can tell whether or not this piano will hold a tune at all, or how long it will hold a tune.
Oh.
Is it going to be good for 5 years, or 15, or 50? And these numbers are really important. If you don't know this, you could have a piano that can't be tuned, and if that's the case, I mean, what's the point?
And you
right?
wouldn't know except for this sort of tool.
Yeah, and the readings and the way we assemble them once we've taken them. So.
How much does this tool cost?
Oh, this is a really expensive tool. It's probably in the $500 to $600 range just for the tool.
Okay, probably not at Menards either.
Not at Menards. Everything's kind of specialized in the piano world.
Sure.
Soundboards are another thing. Everybody's heard about cracks in soundboards, which is certainly a concern, buzzing soundboards or soundboards that have lost resonance. If that happens, the cost to fix this piano is going to be in the $20,000 to $30,000 range. It could far exceed any value even after it was redone.
Wow.
So,
You'd have to have some extreme sentimental value maybe
yeah,
to...
possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Right. So when you talk about the torque on here, I'm just kind of curious, you know, you're worried about the ability of the pin to stay in,
Exactly.
to stay in there and
to
stay,
not turn on
and
its
to
own.
not turn on its
Yep,
own. Okay.
yep.
Wow.
And then the action, of course, with so many moving parts, the action is usually the first thing to need repair on a piano. Luckily, we can usually buy new action parts. It's labor intensive to put them on, but we take careful key weight measurements to find out the condition of the action. If the action's too heavy, then the keys won't move when you play them, and we have problems with what we call friction. So like if a hammer just won't swing, that should move like 10 to 12 times back and forth, then you have a problem, right? So it would have to be replaced or fixed.
Wow. Wow.
That's what these little weights are for, is to place on the keys?
Yeah, we put them on the keys and we can get an accurate reading, and there's a spec what pianos should be, so we can figure out how heavy the keys should be when you press them and if it's working right.
So, I mean, this is all fascinating. What's the bottom line? How can you actually assess the value of a piano?
Yeah, bottom line. So we have to compare it to other things that are like it, obviously. So if you're looking at a little console upright piano, if you could buy a new one today that costs $5,000, then we have to start deducting what the cost of repairs would be, right? So if I got a 50-year-old console piano that needs a brand new action and that's going to cost $4,000, you know, then maybe it's worth $1,000. Right? I mean, this is the kind of numbers that we play with to figure out what things are worth.
So it's basically, you know, what you could buy it for if it was in good condition minus whatever it would
Exactly.
cost.
Yeah, that's a simple way of looking at it.
Yeah.
And so what does this store provide in terms of those services? Do you go to people's homes? Do they, how does that work?
We go to people's homes, we do appraisals, and our appraisal is a complete write-up of all of the components of a piano. And we also do obviously restorations and service in any way that's needed. So if you have a piano that you're saying, well, it's pretty good, but it just needs a few repairs, or even if it needs a new soundboard, you know, we can do all of that. We do moving for people too, and obviously just routine maintenance like tuning.
And you've mentioned before that moving the piano is actually quite expensive.
It is. Pianos are heavy, and I think there was when there's a lot of pianos being moved, there was a little bit more efficiency. So it costs a little more today to have a specialized crew that knows how to move pianos, because there's just not as many people doing that.
So keep that in mind if you're considering that free piano.
Exactly.
That
And
good deal.
the sad thing is that all of the moving companies will charge us quite a bit just to dispose of a piano too. So if somebody says, I have a piano that's no good, I need it out, it's going to cost them $300-400 just to get it out of their house and disposed of. That's why they're free on Craigslist.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What a problem to have too.
Yeah.
So is there any, we just have a few seconds left, is there any one thing that would make a piano just not worth it? Like cracked soundboard, or, I mean, you said that's $10,000 to $20,000 just to fix that thing.
So the cracked soundboard has to be inspected carefully to find out if there's other bigger issues going on. The pin block is really, I would say, one of the first and most important if that's gone.
This is the expert right here, Ben Garber at the Steinway & Sons Piano Gallery on the west side of Madison. Thank you so much for having us today.
Thank you.
Thank you to all of our guests, and this is Wisconsin Family, and we'll see you next time.
The beat, clap your hands.